Alright, so here we are in Western Adoulin. There's quite a few things actually to do around here. The only other one that was activated was this one here, Do Not Go Into the Light, which is a follow-up to a quest. I think it was called Flowers for Svenja, or something like that. But yeah, I already initiated this one in a previous video. Svenja lives close to the center of town here. So basically what we did was, I don't think we'll get the cutscene. I might have to find that video and show it in this one, a little clip or something. But yeah, we basically came here and talked to Svenja's assistant, I think it was. But there was a cutscene, I think Svenja was there. And then they sent us over here to the hospital, where there's that guy, Logan, I think his name was in there. Ah, shoot. I'll try and show this somehow. But anyway, the next step in this quest, and there's like 3 other quests after this that follow this storyline, so we gotta follow up on this. But the next step is to go to, I think, Moramar Basalt Fields. Let me just check that. Yes. So let's just get going on this quest. It got mixed up with another quest I was trying to do. That's why. Yeah, it was weird. Alright, so we're going to the Frontier Station. Yeah. Alright, let's talk to this guy, Galka. This Galka over here, Burgest. He's the next one we talk to. If you've got nothing better to do than bother me, I suggest you get out of my sight. Oh-ho, you've got news of Logan? Good to hear that damned pansy will stop faking it and get back to work. Yeah, I know he's really sick. It's just that everyone's been working their butts off to cover his workload. So that old biddy Svenja finally found a cure, eh? I know I'm a bit hard on the boy, but if he's really coming back, then we need to get him a little something. Yo, you lazy good-for-nothings. We've got to place a special order for that nincompoop of ours, Logan. Oh, come on, boss. We just started our break, and now you want us to go back out there? My arms have already turned to jelly. Please, let us at least sit for 10 minutes. Oh, I'm sorry, delicate maidens. Of course we wouldn't want you to get your freshly painted nails chipped. Maybe I should serve you some tea and crumpets before you pass out from the vapors. Why do I even bother paying these slobs? Well, my brave pioneer, what are you standing here for? Go gather what we need to make Logan's welcome back present. To make a pickaxe, we'll need a piece of Urunde lumber, a Damascus ingot, and a fire crystal. For the love of... Don't you start sniveling too, you slack-jawed moron. All you need is the materials, and the Coalition will put it on my tab. That lovely Chantalee at the Inventors Coalition will take good care of you. She'd better, because I sure won't. And since you'll be in the city, I'm sure you'd be fine with bringing it to Logan yourself. I'll be far too busy changing these boys' diapers. Alright, so those are easy materials to attain. I've already gotten them. So yeah, we don't even have to come back here. He told us where to go. The Inventors Coalition. I think. I think that's what he said. Chantalee. Well, there we go. In the back, yes, I remember him. or her, pardon me, it is imperative that you be able to properly use the tools with which we, the Inventors Coalition, supply you. Otherwise, the colonization effort is doomed to fail. Oh, shoot. I'm first got to, get a fire crystal. I got the materials. Gotta get a crystal. Uh-oh. Are you kidding me? Oh, God. I don't have one. How could I not have a fire crystal? Oh, my goodness. Alright, so we're back. Had to quickly go to the Mog Garden to get fire crystal. I always have those. Wow. Anyway, whatever. So a fire crystal. A Damascus ingot was one of the items. Urande lumber. And I think that was it, right? A pioneer? What can I do for you today? You want us to make a pickaxe, a special request from Borgest, you say. Aha. It must be for that young lad who is supposed to return to duty soon, so you will need it sooner rather than later then. Leave it to me, or rather, one of our experts, artisans. Let me just see if you've brought the materials we need. Yes, everything is in order. We receive all manner of complex orders day in and day out, but something as simple as this will be ready in no time at all. Have a seat while we get to work. I must confess, that was quicker than even I had anticipated. Here you are, a bona fide Inventors Coalition original. I will not claim that it is capable of mining every metal found in Vanadil, but it should be more than sufficient for anything you find on the continent proper. There is one undeniable truth about construction. That which is made can always be broken. However, I am confident in the durability of this piece. As long as the boy makes sure to treat it with the proper care and respect, it should serve him well for many years to come. Alright, we get the Inventors Coalition pickaxe, so let's take that to Logan, right? Oh my, Oko, something awful has happened. Logan has suddenly taken a turn for the worse. Is he still conscious? He keeps fading in and out, but even when awake, he's completely non-responsive. Isn't the medicine ready yet? I wish I had better news, but the extract we made contains a substance of unknown origin. It would be unethical to administer the treatment until we determine its exact nature and effects. But, there's nothing any of us can do right now. Pioneer, I must ask you to leave. A present for the patient, you say? I'll hold on to it for now. Alright, so there we are. So we get a little bailed for that, for completing the quest, but the story is not done. Let me see here. Yeah, we have to wait till the next game day, though, and that's only 4 hours away, so I'll just wait here for a little bit, and we'll be right back, and we'll see what we can do next to help Logan. You must give Logan the remedy, lest he suffer even further. As I said before, we cannot do anything for him until we uncover what the strange substance contained in the mixture is. Such a claim is hogwash. I checked the medicine myself, and it contained no traces of any materials of unknown origin. What are you? Athelius, think back to 10 years ago. Surely you can't have forgotten. It doesn't have to be that way again. Colonization isn't forbidden anymore. We must do all that we can. To be sure, times have changed. Perhaps more than any of us realize. Oko, have you come to pay us a visit once more? It is my sworn duty to tend to the ills of the populace, but this, being prevented from upholding my oath, nothing is more infuriating. Though the bright light of colonization shines down on us once more, the darkness of the past continues to cloud the present. What happened 10 years ago? How is the medicine coming along? Okay, I'll take the bait and inquire about this. Nearly 10 years ago, a young man of simple upbringing was stricken with a terrible disease. The healers of our order did their utmost to bring him back to health, but they succeeded in relieving but a portion of the symptoms. The lad's grandfather, fraught with grief, broke the nation's most sacred of laws by venturing out into the wilds in search of an herbal remedy. Yet never did he return to the city. It was not long after that the grandson finally found solace in Altana's eternal embrace. Would that the tragedy had stopped there. The sickness spread, and as medicines were hard to procure, many of Adoulin's finest suffered needlessly. And now that we have the chance to save Logan, I cannot bear to have history repeat itself. How is the medicine coming along? Athelius insists that we cannot administer the medicine until we discover what this strange substance is, but examinations have revealed nothing out of the ordinary. Could there be another reason for this hesitation to administer the remedy? Maybe I should have Margaret of the Scouts Coalition see if she can find out anything. If we know what gives him pause, perhaps we can bring him around. I have the utmost confidence that she will lend us her aid. After all, she did so the last time Svenja entreated her. I cannot spare any more time away from my charges, Oko, so may I ask you to visit Margaret in my stead. Think of it as a favor, not for me, but for a man who needs you now more than ever. So let's head to the Scouts Coalition, which is in Eastern Adoulin, right outside of the library. So, we're gonna look for Wagelian. Or Wagelian, however you want to pronounce it. Let's see. Right, he was the one in the back. Now I remember. What can the Coalition do for you today, good sir? You say that Alian from the Order of Janiston would like our maester to investigate something for her? Is that some kind of joke? If Margaret were to take on the work of every last citizen who wanted her aid, why, people thirst for knowledge, Wagelian, and as the Scouts Coalition maester, I feel a responsibility to aid our citizenry whenever I am able. But you would have me shut the doors to one in search of answers. What say you about this particular case? Esteemed Maester, I only mean to say that we must carefully select our battles. Your approach is correct, indeed, but it is not your place to make decisions for me. Of course not, Maester. Pray tell, what would you ask of me? It's about that young man, then. I suppose I should not be surprised. Truth be told, I have been continuing to investigate his case. I do not mind taking on something else related to this incident, but I have one condition. I chanced upon a volume of great interest during my research. It was old and worn, and the grease of 1,000 fingers had smudged some parts of that. It was nigh indecipherable. However, I have an idea how to restore the work to legibility. All I would need is for you to bring me a frost turnip and a vial of slime oil. With the time which I would have devoted to procuring those items, I can focus on finding some clue which might lead you to a cure. But a word of warning, if you will. Some things are better left unknown. Alright, well, we procured those items ahead of time, and I guess I just give them to Wagelian here. There's the frost turnip. And slime oil. I see you've fulfilled our maester's request. She has found a person of interest in the case we were discussing earlier. I see you've returned. This Taru friend of ours is Ari Barali. He is prone to put on airs and deliver flowers to the dear friend Svenja, and hence has some information that may be of use. Do you mind sharing what you have learned with my acquaintance? Of course. You see, every day I deliver saffron blossoms to Mistress Svenja and try to suppress my accentaroo so that she looks kindly on me. Aho! I let it slip out. Aliane is the one who always greets me, but one time she was not there. And so I know I shouldn't have done this, but I went around back and peeked into Svenja's room. Mistress Svenja, you cannot possibly mean to administer this medicine. It was derived from the henna bloom leaf, which the pioneer brought back from Albuca. Do you know what that means? If this medicine works, it will provide more fodder for those pro-colonization cronies. We have opposed colonization from the very outset, knowing that the best way to protect our fair nation is to remain within these walls. And this young man, was he not a pioneer? Was this disease not brought upon him by his own foolhardiness? I, too, fear that he fell ill due to something he found in the wilds. Of course, forging further ahead might very well lead to other more vile sicknesses. If that is so, mistress, you of all people must certainly understand what we must do. I suppose there is no helping it. Let us refrain from administering the medicine a little while, and see how this plays out. At first I wasn't sure what they meant, but then I realized that they were choosing not to help save a young man even though the means were right in front of them. That one so lovely could say something so malicious. It shook me to the very core. It took great courage for you to speak out like this. Well, my dear pioneer, you now have something to go on. Whether you choose to tell Aliane or not is for you alone to determine. It is my job to provide the information, not decide what to do with it. But remember this, a story is like a gold coin. There is always two sides. Now we just gotta return to Svenja's place. Oko, oh, you're a sight for sore eyes. Was Margaret's search successful? Did you find out anything about Logan's medicine? Tell her what we learned. No, there's no way Mistress Svenja would say something like that. Aliane, what's wrong? Mistress, just tell me why. Why won't you administer the antidote to Logan? Has Othelius not told you? We have not properly tested it, and thus it is not safe for human use. Is that the truth? Or are you afraid that its success might bolster colonization supporters? Is that not the real reason you are risking the life of this poor boy? Aliane, you could not possibly think Mistress Svenja, we all know of your distaste for colonization and the threat it poses to the security of our city. But to turn your back on those who suffer for the sake of making a political statement, Aliane. Aliane, come back. What could possibly have happened to make her say such a horrible thing? She asked you to enlist Margaret's aid? I suppose it is my fault for not giving her a thoughtful explanation. Oko, I can only imagine the consternation this incident has caused you. Here, as recompense for your trouble. In my attempts to both save the life of the ill and protect the citizens from harm, I have failed to achieve either. What's worse, both are slipping further from my grasp. I have failed, not just as leader of the Order of Janiston, but also as a practitioner of the healing arts. Wow, she's very hard on herself. But she did give us some bails. If we just wait a little while longer, I think we could probably talk to her again. She might feel better, and maybe we'll get a little bit more to the story. What does Grevin out here say? Mr. Svenja is quite busy researching a new type of medicinal concoction. I'm afraid it will be a while before she's able to entertain visitors. Yes. Alright, well, let's just hang out here for a little while and give her some time. And you are? Oh, yes, the pioneer known as Oko. Here to see Adoulin, correct? Unfortunately, she has been dispatched to Yorshaweld to deal with reports of pioneers suddenly taking ill. How fortuitous that I catch you in your manse, Svenja. Margaret? To what do I owe the honor? I have finished deciphering the weathered tome you asked me about, and I'm afraid the situation is grave. It states that a plague nearly rent Adoulin in twain during the time of the Great Expedition. A plague? How could such a calamitous event be erased from our collective consciousness? I cannot say, yet it seems that this was no ordinary malady. More than half of those infected did not live to see the next turn of the moon, and by all accounts, it was the largest disaster to befall Adoulin since the city's founding. The first victim claimed was a pioneer, and in response the king ordered the surrounding jungle burned to the ground. The exact cause was never found, but the arboreal sacrifice appeared to have its intended effect. Some have asserted that the consumption of an unclassified species of plant was the catalyst, and that the king was persuaded by their arguments. I cannot help but wonder if this is related to the situation with Logan. Othelius, we cannot wait any longer. Administer the draught, now. But, Mistress Svenja, our tests are not yet. The time for testing has passed. We must do all we can for him. What are you? Exercise caution with the dosage, however. We cannot be fully certain that nothing will go wrong. Of course. Oko, this bodes ill for Adoulin as well. I bid you make haste for the frontier station in Yorshaweld. There is not a moment to lose. Alright, so we're looking for Mjuk Renuk. Right over here. No, wrong person. There we go. Oh, Adoulin, I know I'm always wumbling about, but if there's anything I can do... Your heart is kind, Mjuk Renuk. They appear to be stable for now, but the situation could turn at any moment. Oko, why would you seek me out this deep within the jungle? You think it might be a contagion come back to haunt us? Curse me for not seeing it earlier. Their symptoms are virtually the same as Logan's. A disease of unknown origins stretching back to the Great Expedition? I knew this colonization was a load of malarkey. So it's only a matter of time before I finally get to see Mikasa again. I knew the day'd come when you'd finally chicken out. When things get tough, we gotta stand up for ourselves, not quake in our boots and break water. But Borgest? Why aren't you back in the basalt fields? You think Yorsha's the only place in trouble? Some of my men have been struck ill too. First I figured they were just trying to get out a haul and a load of ore. But nope. They're as pale as a newborn babe's bottom. We gotta do something about this before our operations are completely crippled. And what would you have us do? Burn down the whole foresteroo? Takes more than a bunch of twigs and leaves to take down an entire mining team. No. I'd lay my gill on the umbrals comprende, and we all know fuego won't scare them. Then it's settled. We gotta find the real reason. Seems I'm always asking for your help, but I need you to haul yourself over to Forêt de Hanatiel and tell the staff what we're dealing with here. Make sure they are fully appraised of the situation and are aware that we're asking them for assistance. It is my sworn duty to tend to all who are ill, so I shall accompany you. They may have need of my healing skills. You won't hear any argument from me. Come, Oko, we have not a moment to spare. Alright, so head to the Forêt de Hanatiel. Alright, so here we are at the Forêt de Hanatiel, a frontier station, and we want to look for Frilla. Or Fritha. Right, I remember her. I think we've talked to her before. Oh no. What happened out here? Excuse me, miss. Were you sent by the Order of Janiston? Oh, thank Altana. These pioneers, always so hardy and capable, just collapsed. For no particular reason. I had sent word to the hospital back in the city hours ago, but received no response. Perhaps I can be of aid. There's some horrible disease making the rounds, and no one knows why. So Hanatiel was not the only place stricken. The woods of Yorsha and the darkened fields of Moramar also report infections. We will assist to the best of our ability. Oof. Ugh. His symptoms are far more advanced than those suffering in Yorsha. Perhaps I can concoct a tincture to ease the pain. Oko, do you remember that time you brought back a henna bloom leaf? I have need of more, and quickly. We are going to need some of our sickles to do some harvesting. I think I keep those in here now, yeah. I'll just take out 20 for now. I'll just put a small party together just for security. Alright, oh, here's one right here. Right in front of the frontier station. Let's just go with this one first. Maybe we'll get lucky. How do we do this again? Always forget how to do this. Yeah. No, not hatchet. Oh, I took out the wrong thing. Duh. How did that happen? God. Sickles are what we need. We only get a certain amount of attempts at this, I forgot, per day. I hate that. Oh well. We'll just do our 14 attempts here. Some saffron blossoms. I think it's a Tarotara that wants those. And, Adoulin, I think. In the waterways. Fresh mugwort. Well, we're not doing very well. There it is. So we can't do anymore. We're too fatigued. We didn't get the key item. That sucks. All right. Well, I don't think we have any other choice but to just wait for the next day. Oh, that sucks. Oh well. Too bad. All right. We'll be back tomorrow, I guess. To try again. Alright, so there we go. I got it on my first try this time. I got both the henna bloom leaf and the nicked dagger, which was both the items we wanted. And it took me a long time to find another harvesting spot, but there it is. I finally found one right there. Ah, God, that was annoying. Okay, so let's head back to the frontier station. Alright, so here we are back at the frontier station. Let's talk to Fritha. Now that we got the key items. Adoulin, your comrade, has returned. Let me take a look. Yes, this specimen should be large enough to work with. What's this? You found a nicked dagger while you were out foraging too? How peculiar. No one mentioned losing a blade, or a weapon of any kind, in at least a fortnight. What's that noise? Eek! Oh no! It's gonna eat us alive! The medicine! No! Great. Adoulin! What bitter irony. She who only sought to aid others now needs aid herself. Oko, Mistress Svenja must be appraised of the situation forthwith. Ari Barali, what is... Mistress Svenja, Shh. Save your energy, little one. Trust yourself to our care, and you will be up and well before the next trading vessel arrives. Athelius, take him inside. Oko, it is not like you to be so harried. Is aught amiss? Adoulin? No, not her. You're right. A city's leaders must remain strong in times of crisis. I will dispatch my most talented herbalists to the continent's frontier stations post-haste. As for the lad, Logan, I wish I could offer better news, but there is yet no change in his condition. Here. Were I a faith healer, I would be beseeching the goddess's aid, but I can only trust that our remedy will have its intended effects. Should these incidents be linked, and I have little doubt they are, we will require copious amounts of henna bloom leaves, just to tread water. I fear I will be calling on you again in the weeks and months ahead. Consider this payment in advance. Alright, so we got a little bit of bailed. So let's just give her a little time, wait for the next game day, and then we'll report in with Svenja once again. If I had 10 gil for how many times I've told you to keep a close eye on your subordinates, Svenja, I'd be a rich woman. They've all come down with whatever that plague of yours is while out searching for henna bloom leaves. You may be content filling beds in the infirmary of yours. You may be content filling beds in that infirmary of yours, but I refuse to subject any of my coalition staff to your every whim. And even if I did send out a whole regiment, eventually we'd pluck the jungle dry. Chalvava, may I please have an update on your progress? The Arboretum's best minds have been toiling day and night, Mistress Svenja, and though our tomatoes have borne fruit, I can't say the same about your henna bloom leaves. Would that you had brought me better news. I humbly request your aid, both of your aid, in continuing to pursue this mystery. Svenja, I apologize for coming off so harshly. Keep your chin up. Thank you, Lay. Oko, you are a sight for sore eyes in this troubled times. Adoulin's health? I fear she remains comatose, and her odds of recovery are grim. The signs of the plague are there in full. She spent so much time watching out for others that she forgot to take care of herself. I had warned her that she would be unable to fulfill her charge should she herself succumb. Yet, the contagion malady. I have requested that all frontier stations staff pour resources into investigating the exact cause, but we remain empty-handed. It is of little comfort that we have been able to stop the illness from progressing in the afflicted, thanks in no small part to your previous assistance. Mistress Svenja, Athelius, should you not be at the infirmary? I had been, but then Logan disappeared, and I figured he may have come this way. Logan? Here? You must be mistaken. I've looked everywhere, but can scarce find neither hide nor hair. I made it quite clear that although the remedy may be worked better on him than others, he was to remain under observation until fully recovered. Where could he have gone? You see, I'm a pioneer. Before I got sick, I once whacked a marble right upside the head with my pickaxe. Of course, it broke in half thanks to that brute's thick hide, so she started scurrying back to whatever hole she crawled out of before I could finish the job. Just my luck. Anyway, I whipped my trusty dagger out from the side of my boot and stabbed her right as she turned around, but I must have jabbed it in there a bit too hard. Now it's gone. 'Twas my first weapon, too. What would my father say if he were alive to hear that I lost it? Well, on the bright side, at least I have a goal to reach for once I get out of this infirmary. He went off hunting in the hinterlands? Do you pioneers ever think of anything but trampling on all the forest holds dear? My understanding is that Logan was originally stationed in Moramor basalt fields. Borgest was charged with overseeing the city's work there, was he not? Mayhap he can shed light on our patient's whereabouts. Athelius, I bid you accompany Oko. Your medical expertise will prove pivotal should Logan's condition take a dreadful turn. Of course. Please, Oko, he needs you. Alright, so we're going to talk to... Where is he? Oh, he was over here. Borgest. Fine day for you to be trotting out here, Oko. If you're here looking for answers about that whole disease debacle, I'm afraid you won't ding nothing. Have you seen Logan? Please. It's urgent. Did you bring some chaff in with your wheat? I'm Athelius, healer from the Order of Janiston. Your man Logan slipped away from our infirmary, and we're afraid he may be in trouble. Logan did what now? Your pioneer friend explained to us that he may be off hunting some unknown quarry. Looks like the boy's not quite the fragile ballerina I'd pegged him as. It does me good to know that not even the most frightful of plagues can hamper his love for colonization. This is no time for jokes. Has your time in the wild stripped you of all sense of danger and urgency? It's not all that, lad. Calm yourself down, and we'll whip ourselves up a plan. Not that he's been here, of course, but I've got an inkling of where he might have traipsed off to. Then, you know where he is? Couldn't tell you exactly where, no, but I'd wager a flagon that he's off trying to ransack a marble. You mostly see him here in the basalt fields, but, and this is where things get interesting, there's been sightings of some over in Yorshaweld. Curiosity got the hold of your patient, for he fell ill, and he went off to investigate the menace. Got himself more than a couple bruises of that. He went off to Yorshaweld? Yep. We'll give you a hand. Logan is as much our charge as yours. What's this then? You crossed a marble over in Forêt de Hanatiel? Hang on there, sport. Did you come across a dagger thrust into its side? Logan mentioned he plunged his dagger into the beast something fierce, but it lumbered away with the blade still embedded in its flesh. That's Logan's blade, all right. Found it in Forêt de Hanatiel, huh? I'd wager that's a good place to start looking as any. I tell you, Oko, you're quicker on your feet than those lazy oafs at the station. But like I said, your first step is to head to Forêt de Hanatiel. While the boys and I are doing what we can over in Yorshaweld, the two of you should haul tail over to the frontier station out in the Forêt and see if you can find out anything. Good plan. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. Let's head to the Forêt de Hanatiel. Talk to one of the representatives there. Alright, so here at Forêt de Hanatiel, let's talk to Fritha. Ah, a pleasant surprise to find you and Athelius out here. Hopefully the trip didn't overly exhaust you. What news of Alian? I'm afraid she remains in a catatonic state. Forgive me for cutting to the quick, but I must inquire. Have there been any reports of a marble sighting? What a peculiar question. A young man, barely outgrown his school breeches, came here not 2 hours ago asking the same thing. I'll tell you what I told him. Yes, we have heard about one of their ilk ravaging the area. That young man must be Logan. What direction did he head in? It's imperative that we find out quickly. The last known location of the marble was around J10, so I presume he's somewhere around there. Though your Logan was not the picture of good health, he positively sprinted when he heard the news. Well, he came down with the affliction that has taken many pioneers of late, and I fear has gotten in over his head. Surely you can't mean to search for him with just the two of you. If you cannot spare men for a search party, then I implore you to dispatch at least one person to the frontier station in Yorshaweld and tell Borgest exactly what you've told us. We'll scout ahead and clear a path. Your brashness may be the better of you one day, Athelius. Please, be careful. I'm just gonna put together a party, because we will have a battle coming up. We're gonna go hunting for one of those Marlboros. Well, the Marlboro, I guess. The one that Logan is after. And maybe we can also bring his knife to him. Alright, so we want to start... Oh, if we have it. I have to check to see if we have this spot. Bivouac number 2. Yeah, which we do have. There. Okay, let's go there. Alright, so here we are at J10. We're going to look for some foreboding vine prints. Right there. Let's click there. For a cutscene. Ha! Cornered now, beast. Let's get a good look at that gaping wound of yours. Now hold still, you. Ugh. Logan! Alright, I'm gonna just pop something in my mouth to eat. Alright, and let's click on the foreboding vine prints again. And, Pungent Patricia. Alright, here we go. Alright, so there we go. Wasn't so bad, so we'll click on the foreboding vine prints again. Damn fool. Come on, boy. You're too tough to give up now. But boss, hey, I got in over my head again. Being reckless by yourself is one thing, but you've prevented us from obtaining more medicine from Mistress Svenja. I didn't mean to... Logan, wake up. He's still breathing. Thank Altana for that. I don't want to know what would have happened to that idiot if a capable pioneer weren't here. And you slack-jawed good-for-nothings, don't stand there gaping while one of your own lies on the cold, hard ground. Look at him, rest-a-rooing peacefully, like a newborn babe. It doesn't take a white mage wage to see that he'll be fine, and Logan would want us to carry out his task in his absence. Well, I'll be. A lot of you have actually grown a spine. All of you make me physically ill. Huh? How many lives are still at stake while you stand here congratulating yourselves? The plague gets worse each day, and you have yet to nail down its exact origin. Your deliveries of henna bloom leaves have also been wholly unsatisfactory. And you expect me to sit idly by while you play footsie with some marble? Are all members of your order this cranky? Examining this little lady here could prove fruitful. You of all people should know about the cycle of the forest. Any questions posed by the jungle have their answers under its canopy. Even the slightest winds can cause branches to break. But boss, you gotta take a look at this. What now? What in blazes would a marble chow down on something like this? I've never ever seen a plant like it. It looks vaguely like a numbing blossom, but the leaves are a slightly darker shade. Gah, wait, I remember. What in blazes? Henna bloom leaf spores can purify the air around them. Logan, think hard and think good. What is it about the gas that you remember? Well, when I punctured the marble's flesh with my dagger, a similar noxious fume poured out. Wait, that means this plant could be the very source of the illness. You might have hit the nail on the head there, lad. The last reports of this malady some centuries back came when the pioneers slashed and burned their way through the forest. Our little marble friend consumed this plant, which was able to thrive inside its stomach. I'm not one to speak on the particulars of Albucan flora and fauna, but even a babbling idiot can see that the two thrived off one another. And if we've got one plant that poisons and another that purifies, then the two worked to counteract one another here in the hinterlands. I think I see now. When we began picking henna bloom leaves, We upset the fragile balance of nature and brought disaster upon ourselves. You are quite prescient, Borgest. The answers to the question the jungle posed us were located right here. That only strengthens my resolve. Were you not to set foot upon this land, then none of this would have come to pass. You've got it all wrong. Borgest is trying to live together with the land, not pillage it. No, Logan, he's not fully wrong. I'm not gonna lie. Our efforts here have not been without sacrifice, and I'm not just talking about this plague. But it's not 'cause we don't give two wits. It's because there's so much we have yet to learn. The jungle brings more than just harm and bile. It also brings us medicine, food, and other bounty. I'm not saying it'll all happen in a year, or even in a decade. But don't you think it's worth seeing if Albuca and Adoulin can play nice? Athelius, think back to 10 years ago. Surely you can't have forgotten. It doesn't have to be that way again. Colonization isn't forbidden anymore. We must do all that we can. Are you truly confident that man, beast, and plant can live in harmony? If we didn't believe so, we wouldn't be risking our lives out here. We'll see if your belief turns into reality. Logan, back to the infirmary with you. And this time, don't try any funny business. Understood. Mistress Svenja will require a full report. Oko. I'll go on ahead. Meet me at the infirmary when you've returned. I guess we just go back then to the hospital. Let me just check here, make sure. What happens if we click on it now? Oh, what's this? Another cutscene? What are you lollygagging around here for? Athelius is waiting for you. That noxious little bugger we found will be tightly sealed and delivered to the Coalition as soon as possible. Hopefully Amchuchu can do something with it. Yes, pickle that Marlboro. Alright. Alright, so we'll head back then, yeah, to the hospital in the center of town in Western Adoulin. Glad you could make it, Oko. Logan? He's asleep in one of our rooms, and I expect him to make a full recovery. But Alian, her prognosis remains grave. Mistress Svenja is tending to her as we speak. I know the two of them would want you to be there during this difficult time. Her face is flush and her breathing has returned to normal, yet I fear the worst is not over. She has yet to wake up. Alian! Mistress Svenja? Oh, Alian, you had us worried sick. Oh, your friend came to at last. Borgest, why are you and your men here? What does it look like? We heard that your friend wasn't in the best condition. Borgest, thanks. Don't fret, none, little lady. We figured out the cause of this sickness. But how? Are you quite sure? Athelius ran all the way here and didn't share the news. The two of us have been so focused on our patients that there was no time for chatter. Please, share with me what you have found. How unexpected. Marble are poisonous enough on their own, but I can scarce imagine the terror of the symbiosis of one of their ilk with so toxic a plant. The jungle is full of surprises, isn't it, Svenja? I would have imagined the plant wholly dissolved by the acids in its stomach. I cannot thank you all enough for your efforts. With the information you have provided us, it is only a matter of time before we discover a proper, fully effective remedy. There's some more work to be done, and even if we don't fully know the why, we at least know the what. Thank the heavens. Marbles traversing their way to Yorshaweld does not surprise me in the least. Historical documents indicate that they originally resided there before the hellfires of the Great Expedition torched half the place. Those not consumed that then fled to the basalt fields. You've always known your way around a book, Margaret. One hypothesis is that the marbles consumed the plants in order to rescue them from certain extinction. Come on, Maester, marbles have no sense of empathy. It's just a theory, although you could go ask them yourself, should you be so inclined. The more pressing question is, what drove them out of the basalt fields and into Forêt de Hanatiel? You know, Logan mentioned first clashing with the creature at the Pool of Clarity in Yorshaweld. And this go-around, it was by the Immaculate Sands in Forêt de Hanatiel. Think maybe it was looking for a way to stop the poison of the cursed plant? Aha! You may have stumbled onto something the rest of us had overlooked. Some people have also been blaming the Umbrals for this whole debacle. All up in arms about icky goop and whatnot. It would follow, then, that the marbles may have infected other denizens of Albuca as well. Now that's something to go on. Look alive, slobs. We've got work to do. But we just arrived in town. If you don't haul tail, Marlborough's going to be the least of your problems. Eek! Oh, Borgest. He puts up that gruff demeanor, but he's nothing if not reliable. Perhaps he was right. We may be able to find a way to protect the sanctity of the jungle while partaking of what she has to offer. Athelius, never would have I thought that, you of all people. I have no doubt that the day will come when we can traverse the jungle without bringing her harm, and she will provide us with remedies to all our ills. We can only hope. Oko, I have no doubt that you will be one of the men to lead us toward this brighter future. If someone had told me even a short while ago that pioneers from other countries could strengthen our city so, their words would have fallen on deaf ears. Despite your status, you have never once forgotten to provide for those less fortunate within the city walls. I consider it both an honor and a privilege to have forged a friendship with one whose values are the same as those of my order. Please take this. It may not be much, but it is what I have to give. Oko, come closer. While I slept, I had a fanciful dream, a dream of you. You were here in the infirmary, providing respite for the suffering. I watched you glide from room to room, tending to both physical and emotional needs, and thought to myself, one day, I would like to be just like him. A true pioneer is not just about colonizing and clearing a path for humanity. A true pioneer guides people away from harm and protects them in times of danger. One day, Oko, I, too, thank you. There she goes again. A healer's work is never over. We have others to attend to, Athelius. Come, let us do for them what Oko has done for Alian. And Borgest was right. There remains much research to be done if we are to discover a lasting cure. Please, Oko, do not overwork yourself out in the wilds. You would not want to see the look on my face if I found you in one of our infirmary beds. Alright, so we receive some limit point bailed and a glorious earring, which is for a white mage, I believe. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever wear this. And this is the only way you can get it, is by doing this quest. It's a pretty amazing wing, actually, for a white mage, but I'm never going to be a level 99 white mage, I don't think, so we might never actually wear that. But because it is so rare and unique, and you can never get it again, because you can't do this quest over again, I don't think it's repeatable. So I might just keep that in my inventory just to have it for our collection of earrings. And that basically finishes up, I think, every single, just about every single quest in Western Adoulin. Except for one, at least, that I'm saving for a later episode. So that's it, but there's still lots to do in Eastern Adoulin. So that's what we'll tackle next.